Okay.
All right. Hi, everyone. Dr. Frankie here, and I'm super excited to be here for our second episode of Love, Laughs, and Lessons. And this is our matchmaking series, and we have someone really amazing today that we will be introducing to you shortly. But just to say a little bit about myself, my name is Dr. Frankie Bashan. I'm the CEO of Little Gay Book and Little Black Book Matchmaking. I'm also a clinical psychologist and have been matchmaking for many, many, many years. And this is a topic I'd love to talk about. So I'm thrilled to be here today. And what else? I'm a dating and relationship expert. I'm a board certified sex therapist. And on this podcast, we talk about everything related to relationships, dating, romance, love, all the good stuff. So I want to introduce you to Denise now, who is my co-host.
So hi, everybody. My name is Denise Rai, and I am Client Service Director and one of the matchmakers at Little Gay Book. And I am so happy to be here. And we have a special guest, Krystal Walters from Krystal Walters Matchmaking. She is one of Canada's highest ranking and one of the most prestigious dating services. That is who she is and what she runs. Krystal has been matching singles. Okay, edit. Sorry. They said to pause. Okay. So I am Denise Rai, Client Service Director and Matchmaker with Little Gay Book. And I am so excited to be here with you and to introduce you to today's guest, Krystal Walters. Krystal Walters is from Krystal Walters Matchmaking. She's one of Canada's highest ranking and most prestigious edit. What the heck?
Denise, it doesn't have to be perfect.
Maybe don't say that.
Okay, maybe don't say that, right? I can't say prestigious. All right. This is, no. I'm so flustered. All right, here we go. Woosah. Hi, everybody. My name is Denise Rai, and I'm the Client Service Director and one of the matchmakers at Little Gay Book. And I'm so excited to have our special guest, Krystal Walters of Krystal Walters Matchmaking, one of Canada's highest ranking and one of the most prestigious dating services. Krystal's been successfully matching singles in North America since 2012-ish. Yeah. So
yeah, there was a mistake somewhere along the line, but yeah, it's about 2011.
2011. Yeah.
A while. That's a while.
Yeah. A while. A long while. And Krystal and her team, they go beyond the surface level of preferences and they delve deep into your personalities, your values, your lifestyle. She has a wealth of experience and her matchmaking process has been meticulously tailored to maximize compatibility. So welcome, Krystal. We're so excited to have you join us.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm very happy to be here.
Thrilled to have you on. So yeah, tell us how you do what you do. Give us an idea, because I know us matchmakers, we do it a little differently, each of us. So
yeah, I mean, well, I didn't go to school for this, so that is one thing I like to tell people right away. I mean, I know there's a matchmaking course you can take, and when I first started, I guess I didn't believe in the whole philosophy. I started this because I had gone to matchmakers previously, and I just felt that I could do better. But at the time, I was very, very young. And when you're really young, like I barely take clients that were the age I was at that time because it's hard. You can't give them the quality matches. On average, everyone's over 35 and I was, mid 20s. I had a child. And if somebody came to me like that now, I'm like, oh, it's, a little unmatchable. So I started my business basically out of spite on the weekend, just thinking, I can do better. And I built a website and got a cell phone at the mall and I was busy immediately. So I really had to learn my way through it. And I feel like I had a lot of systems and processes in place at the time. And then as time progressed, I really just fell into the spot I'm at now. And really, I mean, I have that system. I think we use the same one. It's a great tool for searching, keeping information, but I'm just listening to everybody. They tell me what they like, they tell me what they don't like. I take that feedback and I try and give them, the best matches that I can. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And that's really all I do.
Are you matching mainly in Canada?
Yes, and we just started Seattle, New York, and LA this month.
Wow, congratulations.
Yeah, so I'm excited about it. It's
Yeah.
And
long time coming.
do you specialize with a specific population?
Not necessarily. I mean, it's probably right now it's like a few from 25 all the way up to 70. I think 78 is our oldest right now. 79, yeah. So everybody.
Heterosexual?
Both, all, yes.
Oh,
Everybody and anyone. Yep.
wow.
Yeah, I mean, still a learning curve with that, you know, for me, because I'm not involved in the LGBTQ plus community, but I'm learning, and it's a really small market here and there's nobody doing it. And I just I had people come to me and ask me if I could, and I said, I've never done it, I'll try. And it kind of just came from there, because I guess in Western Canada, I think I'm the only option.
Wow.
Yeah, so
I'm finding that matchmakers are popping up all over the place because people are, right? They're realizing the dating apps aren't really as effective, and they're looking to alternatives, and matchmaking is pretty, I mean, it's definitely something that requires a lot of skill that you develop over. It sounds like you kind of did it like me. I didn't go to an institute or anything. I just naturally, it was just part of my day to day, and I developed the skill by just doing it, honing in. And
yeah, you got to just figure it out. I mean, it changes every day, right? But yeah, I'm doing it.
And you've been doing it, so that's a really, really good thing. Do you find that your clients in Canada are different, like culturally, than the clients that you're now taking on in the US? And I'm saying that because I lived in Canada for 14 years.
I mean, there's some differences for sure. But I wouldn't say it's like vast differences. It's more just like they really know what they want. And I feel that, and no offense, but it's more about superficial things. So right now I feel in the States than it necessarily is in Canada.
oh,
I mean, at least Canadians have you know, a little more gentle way of going about it, if that's what it is, but that's what I'm noticing.
so they're more interested in actually the person and less focused on the superficial, like the physical. Like
yeah, I would say that. Where the States right now, it's like purely physical. And but to me, that's easier to match. So if somebody is superficial, I'm like, I appreciate that, because it's easier to pick that out. It's easier to search for that. It's here it is, take it or leave it, you know, and you just forget about everything else. And, you know, when I first started my business, I was like, I just want everyone to meet everyone. I want everyone to be happy, and I don't want it to be about looks. And I wasn't even going to use photos of people. And I mean, that changed quickly, because at the end of the day, there's still like that superficial component that comes with it, and there needs to be attraction. So now I appreciate when people are like that, because it's just easier.
Do you find that people that are really like clients that come to you that are very focused on the physical? Do you find that their relationships don't last as long as somebody who's actually thinking more about the entire, like obviously there needs to be physical attraction, but that's not the main focus, emphasis? Yeah.
Yes and no, but if somebody's super focused on, you know, physical attributes, and they're, you know, it's more of a shallow connection, the person they're going to be matched with is also at that level, right? So they have other reasons for being with them, whether it be money or, you know, superficial things. And those are usually easier relationships, because it's like it's transactional. So sometimes I think they're together longer.
So, I mean, there's a compatibility right there. They're both wanting the same thing. They're focused more on the superficial, and you're matching them with each other. So that makes for good compatibility.
Yes. Yeah.
I think there are all different types of relationships, right? And who are we to define what a relationship means to someone?
Exactly. Right? I mean, everybody has a different goal, whether it be connection or, you know, boobs. So it is what it is. Yeah.
Did you say boobs?
I did.
I love when people are like, you know, a must-have is somebody with a really nice butt. you know.
Right. I mean,
We don't measure for that, but okay.
So
Yeah.
what's your like ideal client? What's a client that you get excited about?
you know, I really get excited when it's a challenge.
Mm,
Like if somebody is, you know, either extremely well known and maybe not like, you know, the best reputation. I feel like that's going to be because then I'm like selling. And I never like to say that this is sales, but at the end of the day, you got to sell everybody, right? So I like those ones. I like when, you know, let's just say we get somebody who's a doctor who only wants a doctor. And that happens so often. That to me is a challenge because there's not as many and you got to go out and get them. So like unique situations like that are excite me because it's different than just like I'm 30 and I've never been married and I want to have kids. And I mean, there's so many, I don't want to say basic, but like run of the mill type, just nice, normal people that want somebody nice and normal. And when you get somebody that's a little bit quirky, it's,
a good challenge. When you get
yeah, it's
that
harder.
quote unquote unicorn that everybody
Right.
thinks
Yeah.
that they are. Yeah.
Yeah.
have
And
to
it's
find a
it's not
unicorn
about the
for
money
them.
either. It's about the like it's about the challenge. Like, how can I get this? And
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
What's been the most difficult, like in all of your years? Has there been like a really difficult match that you like mastered and you were like, yes?
Oh, you know, I do have one couple. They were probably right when I first started. Um, so they live in different cities, like 3 hours apart, and there's a 15-year age difference. I think I had her for a few years and I struggled to match her. Like, and she complained to me every month. Like she was just complaining. And I finally convinced her to meet this guy who was way older, and in a different city. And they have been together ever since. I think it's like one of my first couples. They're
Nice.
still together and they still live separately, 3 hours apart, which I think is very interesting.
Yeah.
That one I feel proud about a lot of the time because I'm like, oh, you know, when it's hard to get somebody going sometime. Like it's really disheartening when they don't get a match right away or they get turned down, and you know that happens. But then when they finally get there, it's
It's so worth
that's
it.
exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, too, sometimes as they are your client and they're practicing dating, because that's what I call dating, is practicing dating,
Yeah.
they are becoming more open and more receptive. And it's almost like preparation for that one that they're going to meet that's going to be the right one. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that is a good way of looking at it. You do have to practice. Yeah.
Do you find that they're receptive, your clients, or you're like, I'm this is a coaching opportunity, or we
Yeah.
think that there's
Some of them are and some of them aren't. And I think one thing about me, I mean, I'm very honest and very straightforward. And I, adapted that model from when I just started this business because I wasn't happy with the services that I had paid. That if I was going to take money from anybody, I'm going to be completely honest right from the beginning. It is what it is, and if you don't hear me, that's on you. That's not me. And I stick with that. And some people are like, I appreciate that. I like that. And then some people don't, even if they heard me day one, it's like they forgot because you deal with so much rejection. And that is one thing that I've really learned, that doesn't matter if you're dating in person, online, or through matchmaking, there's still rejection. Like we can't make anyone meet anyone. And everybody deals with that in such a unique, different way. And a lot of people can't deal with it. And that is something I'm still learning to help people with. But I mean, it's not easy. And we're dealing with that rejection too, because we got to tell everybody. It's like we're getting rejected every day, and you hate that part. I hate that about my job.
Yeah. Yeah.
Telling people.
do
Yeah.
you deliver that news? It's not that the two adults that you sent on a date
Yeah.
figure that out. together. No.
Well, sometimes they get rejected before they even get to the date. And that is the part that just drives me nuts.
Whoa, tell us about that.
You know, if we're matching people based on their preferences, everybody should be in line. Everybody should be saying yes. And I think this is when it comes down to looks or that initial attraction. If they don't have that right away, they just say no. And some people are open and receptive and some people do go, but more often than not, I would say probably right now, I'd say like 50% of the time they don't go. Sometimes they won't even reply to me.
They're judging off of a one-dimensional image. You show one photo. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we don't even show photos.
See, I tried that in the beginning and it didn't work. And then I changed it.
Because I feel like it's human nature, first of all, to project.
Yeah.
We see what we want to see. And also we have preconceived ideas when we look at a picture. You can't help it. Even if you're like, I'm gonna be open. I'm going to be as objective as possible. You can't help it. It's an automatic, like quick judgment assessment. And then it's hard to come back from that.
You don't get photos.
No.
And what do they say after?
Yeah. What do they
Nothing.
say?
They like, you know, like, so I think that when you set up the expectations, like you do also, we set up the expectation that this is the best person, this is the best fit for you. And then we're also listening, right? So we kind of have an idea of what they're looking for. But I mean, anybody can be great and terrific looking, you know? Anybody can be great and terrific looking. It's all about your mindset, I think, you know?
I think also our clients come to us because they want to change a pattern, right? They're often gravitating towards the same type of person. Like I often hear, you know, Dr. Frankie, can you find me somebody who is, you know, I tend to attract narcissistic people, right? And they want to break that pattern. So they're hiring us as experts to select somebody different than they would otherwise.
Yeah.
So part of it is like, they say that, but
they say that in theory, that's what's happening.
Yeah. They need to let go of control and let us do what we do best. And we wouldn't be where we are today as successful as we are if we weren't actually successfully matching people, right? So that's what I let them know. I'm like, and they're all successful. These are, you know, people who are used to being at the top, calling the shots and having all the control. And then all of a sudden they come to us and they're like, I need your help, but they want to continue to control. And I just said that this is where you're going to sort of sit back and let us do the work and trust that we're capable, you know, that we've got you.
Yeah.
So,
I think too, I could count on one hand how many times people have come back to me and said, I just couldn't stand the way they looked. That's never the thing. It's not the look. Yeah. It's usually something else, about maybe something with the personality, or they were too pushy or not pushy enough, right?
Right.
They were funny or they weren't funny enough. They were assertive or they weren't assertive enough. But from one date, and the key is that you're not going to have all that information in just one date.
No, you're not, nor are you going to have that in viewing your profile. I think it's great that you don't show photos. I wish I could. Let's go back in time and
let's go back.
I mean, photos are probably one of the biggest problems with the dating apps. People are making snap judgments and swipe, right? And there's so many people that are not so photogenic. And then the majority are not so photogenic. And then there's a small number that are extremely photogenic. So then you show up on the date and they don't look as good as their photos. So
I know. Oh, that's just hurting when that
Tricky.
happens. But you know what I've also noticed too, just like based on each city that I'm in, because I've been online in each place just to see. LA, like I get LA's, you know, Hollywood, but oh my God, like everybody is good looking. All of their photos are amazing. Like, it's crazy to me. It's crazy. Here, people in Canada they're not even putting, you know, 6 pictures of themselves online. It's like, this is my dinner, this is me and my fish. And then,
wow.
You know,
there's a cultural difference right there.
Yeah.
Because in America, it's like, here's a body shot.
That's right.
Here's a headshot. Here's me hiking Mount Everest.
That's right.
Here's
skiing. I'm surfing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Funny.
So online in the States to me is definitely better so far than Canada. Yeah, but
Yeah.
hey.
Yeah.
I mean, I hear all day long people expressing their frustration with their experience of dating apps and how, you know, they're getting ghosted, or they get excited about somebody and it feels like it's going somewhere. And then the person is, you know, in the end, really not interested in a relationship. They're emotionally unavailable. I mean, there's a lot of people not really showing up.
Yeah, I know. And you get that with, you know, all avenues of dating though, which is the unfortunate thing, because there's just so many options available to everybody at any time.
Mhm.
And half of them can be free, right? So
Yeah.
You know what? That actually is making me think of something too. I wonder what your thoughts are. I find that when I coordinate dates, sometimes when the person that's not interested rejects, they sometimes give an excuse that isn't true. It isn't honest, right? It's, you know, I'm realizing I'm not, you know, wanting a relationship right now. I'm not ready, but they tell us they're ready and they want a relationship. So there are times where I feel like, wow, that may it as a matchmaker, you can fear that you've been misrepresented, right? Like, because we are honest, we say we're matching, like for our company, we match for monogamy, and these are people who are really wanting a relationship. It's not a casual service, so on and so forth. But then when somebody decides they don't want to continue dating, right, and they say, well, I'm not ready for a relationship right now, it makes it seem like we didn't do our part.
yeah, it does. And I know we get the brunt of that a lot, but I also find that it's people like their insecurities, not so much, you know, the monogamy part as it is showing up. And again, the whole rejection thing, that there's such a fear of rejection
Mhm.
that they want to reject somebody so they don't get rejected.
Yeah.
And I mean, what do you do with that? Like,
Yeah,
it's,
so
you
they're
can't,
being preemptive, you're saying, like
yeah,
they reject before they get rejected. Yeah.
yeah.
I've had a few clients say to me they just didn't want to be the heavy, like, you know, like truly this person now is like the friend zone, but you tell them we're all grown-ups here, right? So transparency, wouldn't you want someone to tell you I think you're a great person, I just don't think you're my person, and that's okay, you know. But it's
Yeah.
easier to blame. I guess that's human nature. We don't want to let people down, we don't want to hurt their feelings, right?
So then they'll take the matchmaker and they'll throw the matchmaker.
It's your fault.
The matchmaker under the bus.
It's like,
Yeah, I do that.
Matchmaker's fault. The matchmaker did.
I mean, we definitely try to be very supportive and encouraging of our clients to kind of be as adult as possible and do the work, you know, and
Yeah.
whether it be engaged in some coaching to help stretch themselves to, you know, go on a third date, even though they don't feel sparks and they don't feel all this incredible chemistry, because the idea is that I think chemistry can grow, but there are plenty of people that will argue with me and say, oh no, Dr. Frankie, I feel chemistry instantly or not, doesn't grow for them.
Yeah.
But I think it's what you tell yourself. It's what you believe, right? So
Oh, it is. Like, I'll even give an example about my own life. Like just recently, I'd been talking to this guy in another city for 2 years. And I was scared to meet him because I'm like, this is going to be it. Like, you know, so if I went to his city, I maybe didn't necessarily tell him I was there, but I kept like the conversation, like light conversation over the years. And then I finally met him. And immediately, like as he was crossing the street to come towards me, I was like, oh no, this is not gonna work.
oh my gosh,
And it was like
2 years.
2 years. And I know better than that. I would never, if any of my clients had been talking to somebody for 2 weeks and they hadn't had a date yet, I'd say you're nuts. Like you just don't know. And I learned a really big lesson.
Oh my gosh. And no video? You hadn't done video either in 2 years?
We had done FaceTime a couple times, but you know, that's not the same either.
Right.
As like, you know, when a guy says he's 6 feet, but then he's 5'8", or like, I'm 5'8" and now I have heels on, so I don't think you're 6 feet, but okay. Like,
was it that kind of a situation?
it was that, and just like, I started noticing over the past maybe, let's say 6 months, like his conversation skills, like he just kept saying the same things. And I'm like, this is just really weird. Like intellectually, I kind of knew it wasn't going to be connection. But I thought, God, I've invested all this time in chatting with this person. And he has like a really good resume. Let's put it that way. I thought he was going to be amazing. And all through dinner, I was just like, oh, oh no.
What a disappointment too.
Yeah.
That's a lot of time.
It's too much time. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I discourage clients with the dating apps, definitely, like within 2 weeks, like you said, if you have not met, then just cut your losses.
Oh, don't do it. Like I thought we had the same sense of humor. I thought everything was completely aligned and nothing was.
Isn't that amazing? So for 2 years, you could keep conversation going.
Yeah.
On text, I'm assuming.
Yes. With the odd phone call, the odd FaceTime.
There you go.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's funny because you hear that story though from people that are coming to us more often than not, right? Mm-hmm. I've been in this relationship for 4 years, and then you ask and you're like, oh, they're in Seattle, but I live in New York. And I'm like, oh, how often have you seen each other in the 4 years? 3 times, 2 times.
I wonder if that has to do with the pandemic a little bit too. I mean, it's few years of strange weirdness.
Yeah.
I've done long distance before and I enjoy it because I feel like when I'm with them, I'm with them. And then when I'm on my own, I'm focused on my son, I'm focused on work. And I just think those are some of my greatest relationships, but never, a 4-hour flight away that you're not going to do regularly. And yeah, the pandemic probably did shift things for a lot of people, but it also opened people up to dating outside of their area. Like, I think that's great, but yeah, don't waste 2 years.
There was so much more resistance that I would experience with my matchmaking clients about stretching themselves, being more open to, other parts of the country, different cities, like New Yorkers not wanting to date anybody outside of Manhattan. It's like, Jersey, right?
What about Jersey?
Why not?
Yeah.
Long Island,
Connecticut,
no.
Long
Connecticut,
right?
Surrounded by all these other states. Why wouldn't you delve into that and see what's there? And now the pandemic has totally broken down those walls, and people are way more open. So that's been a blessing. Yeah.
Yes.
So long distance, how do you, when you're doing matchmaking, you're matching clients in different states or cities, and there's some distance, do you set up a date virtually? Is that?
No, I just share information and I let them figure it out. Just say, here you go, and you guys can. Yeah.
Wow, we don't do that either.
Don't do that either.
You really trust your clients
they
to
figure
really
it out.
Yeah, I did previously get involved, and I remember one time I was up, there was a time zone change, and I was like up at 5 in the morning, and I had a full face of makeup and hair because I thought, oh my God, like I don't know what's going to happen, I need to be ready, I might have to be on FaceTime. And they did figure it out themselves. Nobody got in touch with me, no one responded to my messages, and I was up at 5. At 10 a.m. I was like, okay, they figured it out. And then after that, I'm like, I'm not putting myself through this stress again. So, I mean, they can figure it out, right? So
adults. Yeah.
Yeah. But you've said earlier that they sometimes don't even actually get on the phone to talk because they see the photo and decide that.
They do that, but they tell me, no, I'm not going to meet them, or they don't reply to me before I'd even be able to get to the point of like the date or the, so at this point they both said yes. So they figured it out. Yeah.
So how many times does the client get to say, no, I'm not going to meet the person that you have selected for me after I have shared with you all the qualities and the value, right? All the things that are important to me. Mm-hmm. How many times are they allowed to say, no, I'm not going out with them?
Well, I mean, it's unlimited. I did have, and this is no joke, I did have a gentleman who said no for 3 years.
Wow.
Every single girl, I think there had to have been like I don't even know how many profiles. I want to say like over 30.
That's a lot.
And then he said yes to one, and they dated for a full year. So I was like, wow.
Reasons. Why was he saying no? Was it strictly looks?
You know, I don't even know. It was looks, it was her job title, like just, you know, I thought, I don't think this guy likes girls. Like I was at that point where I'm like, what is happening? Because like, what am I doing wrong here? I've given you everybody of every single type, and you've said no to all of them.
Yeah.
And one day he just said yes.
Were you
So-
shocked?
Wait, what?
What?
So I don't cut it off at any point. Like I let everybody have unlimited matches. They can say yes or no as many times as they like. The one thing I did just change was I now make everybody log into the system and hit interested or not interested, because a lot of the time they don't even want to tell me if it's a no, because they're probably worried I'm going to get mad at them.
Right.
But if they log in and they hit that button, then we don't have to have that conversation. If they want to chat with me about it, they can. But either way, everybody gets a response, and then we can move forward. And if they don't respond, I'm not going to give them new matches.
So an easy out. So here's an easy out for you. So you don't have to face me with the music and give me an explanation, right?
Yeah.
So just hit the button. It's a no. I ask no questions and we move on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
I mean,
Yeah.
we just started doing that this month, and you know, a little bit of backlash. People thought maybe we weren't, like, it was more glorified online now, but it's not. I'm still making the matches. But this way everyone's being accountable and replying, because people hate waiting, like, and it's disheartening. I mean, I hate that
Yes.
part too. So
Yeah. You mean the other person that's waiting for the match?
Yeah.
Waiting to hear if their match is responding.
yes.
Yeah.
Because are they told that they're going to hear from you ultimately about whether the person's interested? So they're just waiting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah. That's
I'm
all.
waiting, they're waiting. Yeah, we're all waiting.
Could be
Yeah.
waiting a week or two. And then after a while, yeah, you start to feel
Oh,
like, what's
yeah.
wrong with me? Right? Like,
Yeah.
what's going on? Yeah. Oh, I like that. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with us, they've got to, they have to submit feedback, a formal form, and then within 72 hours, hop on the phone with us and talk about it. So yeah.
Wow, 72 hours.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like that.
And they got to talk about it. Like what
We
went
have talk,
well,
yeah.
what didn't go well.
And I love that part, partially because I'm so very nosy. But the other part is I want to know, like, what it was. What were your challenges? How did you feel on the date? How did you, like, what was going on for you? Did you feel like you were your authentic self? Did you feel like you were carrying the conversation? Like, I have so many questions. So
Yeah. And then clients change their mind, right? They think they know what they want initially, and then as you get into it and you're coordinating the dates, and you know, and for you, you're putting them together, they're going on the dates, right? Don't they come back to you and say, actually, I've changed my mind, I kind of want to focus on this type of person instead? Or
yeah, or this thing.
I mean, be open. Like, I'll change your preferences every day. I don't care. Like, just meet people.
yeah.
That's the key. I mean, that's the big thing. Get out there and do the thing, right?
Right.
Let's
Yeah.
not just keep talking about it. You've got to be in
Leave
it.
your house. Yeah.
Leave your house. That's right.
I always say they're not going to show up at your door or fall into your lap, or, you know, not going to bump into them on the way, you know, in the gym on the way to the treadmill. It's just, how likely is that?
The old way of meeting people.
The old way. I know.
Yeah.
So how do you get folks into your network that you match your clients with? Where do you find them?
They just come.
Find you.
They just
Build
show
it and
up.
they will come.
You know, yeah, they do. I mean, I used to do a little more like headhunting, and we still do. If we have like a custom search client, we'll do, you know, custom search ads for them. And some people come through that. And those are for the really picky people, but everybody just comes. Like, I'm in a really good market, I think, for matchmaking. There's, you know, it's not overpopulated. My branding has been amazing, and it's been improving over the years. Getting, you know, lots of media attention has obviously probably been very helpful. yeah, so I don't really have to go get them.
It's great.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Really good. Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, because I think it's really about having a lot of people to consider for our clients, right? So
You need as many as you can have, right? So, and if they come to you, they're probably more ready than if you went to them. Which is one thing, I feel with clients, like I want them to be ready and able to date, and they're not always even still, but if you let them come to you, they are. And I give everybody unlimited matches so that, they can say yes or no, unlimited amount of times, as frustrating as that is. Then you constantly have like a large pool to choose from rather than limiting them to only 5 or 6 months. Like once you're in there, you're in there, I hope it
So
works.
are you saying they're in your database for the rest of their lives until they find a match?
Well, I mean, contractually, they're only in there for 2 years, but I've had people expire and I'll renew them like at no fee. I have had people who have been with me since I started.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, just depends on what people are looking for and then, you helping them find their person. But there's no rush and there's no pressure and okay. Different.
If they're a great date and I don't have a problem with them and they're having good dates, then I let them stay.
and
And if somebody's contract's up and they're gone, then you know why.
because they're matched?
Well, that or they're not enjoyable to manage, right?
Oh, okay.
All right.
So so how about
There you go.
listeners? Yeah. What kind of client is a client that you get excited about working with? And or what kind of client are you not interested in working with? Like maybe because people I think that it's a lot of times they don't quite know how to engage with us. And they see us as like staff or help, or you know what I mean? Where the respect isn't really there. And
Order takers.
Yes, like, I have one lady, she'll email, call, and text within 5 minutes. And if she doesn't hear back in 5 minutes, then she's calling again and like, it's concerning, I'm not hearing from you. What's going on? And, we're all in a meeting or we're not available, but I do get back to everybody within a day at least. And she just treats me horribly all the time. So I don't think she's an enjoyable dater. I can't imagine she's enjoying herself. Somebody like that, I feel they're not ideal because treating me poorly isn't going to get you great dates. Like, how do I sell that?
Right.
Like you don't need to be my best friend, but respect is, I'll respect you if you respect me. And I mean,
And it's huge. Yeah.
so does she know this, or do you not tell? Just
we send out notices saying we will reply to you in this time frame, and if these avenues are available to you in emergency situations, and please be respectful of weekends and evenings. And I will say though, I am very bad I'm an immediate replier when I can. If I'm not in a meeting, I'll reply immediately. If it's weekend evening, I'll just do it because I want to get it out of the way. I don't like to leave it. And by me not setting that boundary, I think and that is my own issue, and I'm admitting it right now. But if people still, even if I'm responding to immediately or within 3 hours on the weekend, and you still have zero respect for me, I'm just like.
But does she get that feedback from you? Do you ever let her
know?
She
does. Not even not that I want to talk about this situation. You can edit it out if you want, but my father passed in April, and we sent out a notice to everybody saying it was right when I was making matches. Matches are on hold. I don't know what's going to happen. Like, just we'll be in touch. And we literally had people respond saying, I don't care. I was like, okay, well, you can go then. Like that to me is just so,
like compassion. Yeah. Where's the
you paid me doesn't mean I'm like, that is just, I think when that happened, I thought it was amazing for my business in a way, because it really helped me learn about my clients. Like, even if a client wasn't the greatest with me throughout the you know, the entire time I've had them, they were still like respectful or like understanding, except for like 5 out of
Wow.
thousands of people.
Yeah.
There was 5 that were just like,
Yeah.
that's just terrible.
Like that's your
Terrible.
problem kind of an attitude. Yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah. I think that we're all blessed to be able to work with people that we want to work with and not
Yeah.
have to work with people that we don't want to work with.
Yeah.
You know, and the unfortunate thing I feel with me where and maybe this is because, you know, I didn't go to school for this or I've had to learn my way through. I love everybody when I meet them initially. I think everybody's amazing. I think everybody's great. I want to match them. And then, you know, a few months in, you're like, oh, I was wrong.
Yeah.
Like
But I think you have to be open like that. You know what I mean? Because you came into this industry because you're so passionate about love. And so you
Mhm.
want everyone to have it. So you don't want to prejudge. I mean, we tell our clients not to prejudge. So yeah.
That's true, yeah.
And then you learn, I mean, unless they're like, you know, crazy before you even get to the consultation, then
Yeah.
you're like, okay, no. But yeah.
So how can I know we got to wrap up shortly, and I want to make sure, Krystal, that listeners can find you. So where can they find you? And if they're in the US, would you work with them? Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So my website, krystalwaltermatchmaking.com, Krystal with a K, and Walter with no S. And yeah, we honestly will take anyone from anywhere if they're willing to be matched where our main markets are. They have to understand that. But right now it's Calgary, Vancouver, Toronto, New York, Seattle, and LA.
Great. And are you going to continue to expand in?
You know what? No, probably not. I think we'll leave it there. I mean, I don't know how much longer I got in me, you know, and then the more you expand, I'm just going to be, I still want to be able to be good at my job without having to like hire a whole bunch of people who, you know, aren't as passionate about it. And, you know, my name is on the business. I got to remember that. So keeping it small is sometimes better than, you know, going big. Right. So I think the 6 main cities for me is where I'll leave it for about 10 years.
Yeah.
And then what about social media? How can people follow you? Do you have Instagram, TikTok?
Yes, please.
Tell us.
Instagram, it's Krystal Walter Matchmaker. I think Twitter is KW Matchmaking. And then Facebook, Krystal Walter Matchmaking, LinkedIn. I think that's them all. Yeah.
And what's the best way for folks to reach you?
Probably Instagram. So the Krystal Walter Matchmaker or our website.
Okay.
Yes.
Such a pleasure having you on.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Very nice.
And good luck with the expansion. It sounds like you added how many more cities?
3.
Oh my gosh.
That's big.
Yeah, I know. We just hired an American PR firm. So
awesome. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
We'll be crying in a month, but yeah.
I hope for lots of successful matches.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good luck to you guys too.
Thank you so much, Krystal.
Thank you for having me. It was fun.
Of course. All right, everyone.
Oh, that was still being recorded. Okay. Sorry. You can edit that out.